Good morning, everybody. Well, it's morning everywhere, right? Except on the other side of the world. How are you doing? It's Deb and Hillary for the Ready, Set, Grow show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I'm just going to do a real quick switcheroo here. Sorry, people. Yep, there we go. So today, what to write on your blog. And we may want to just take it back a little step because it's like, what's a blog? Why should you have a blog? And if you're an entrepreneur and you have no idea what we're talking about, this is the session that you need to listen to. Get your pen and paper, write some notes down, and then get to writing. Okay?
Yes, I wish I would have had this, what we are going to present, when I was told months ago, write your blog, Deb, write your blog. So hopefully you'll find this very interesting and worth your while to learn.
Definitely. So, one of the first things that people ask is why blog? And the funny thing about it is that when I first started blogging, I'll just give you a little backstory, right? So when I started blogging way before I became an entrepreneur. And this is why blogging to me seemed like, you know, kind of not so important for business because I started blogging more like journaling. So literally, my blog was my journal. So my very first blog way back when was literally my journal, and every day I'd get on there and I just share what's going on in my life, what's going on in the world, what's blah blah blah, and that was a blog, right? And it was just me writing. What that did for me, all right, and maybe Deb, this is news to you, but what that did for me, it got me into this mode of writing to the point where I wanted to write a book. And I published my first book in 2014. It was a year, yes, 2014, right? So we were like, blogging for me was writing, it was just writing. And then enter the world of entrepreneurship, and you're trying to get your word out there. And I realized, well, everybody's telling me, everybody's telling me that you need to do video. Like at that time, we got to the point where everybody was telling me do video. And I was like, I'm not getting on camera. I don't like how my voice sounds. I could write. I had published a book, so I knew I could write. So I was like, great, let's write. And we're going to blog, and we're going to blog, and we're going to blog. And why is blogging important? Because what it forced me to do was create a website. And my website where I could blog. So it wasn't on a WordPress.com or a blogger, eBlogger, or any of the free websites out there that you could have blogged on, and which is what I did blog on for many years. But it forced me to, first of all, get a website. Mm-hmm. And then I started blogging and writing about different things. All right. So blogging was important because I needed to be found. Now, as a business person, I was like, I can't just put out my products and services all the time. I have to share content, I have to share information, right? And I wasn't getting on video, right? Like, not like, every week we're here, 11 Eastern, No, I wasn't doing that then.
Yeah. And your story is like, before, when I started blogging, I was already an entrepreneur. And so, but my story is, my mentor said, Deb, you got to write a blog. You got to write your blog. And I was thinking, the little voice kept telling me, oh, you don't know how to do this. And I'm like, I don't know how to write a blog. Where do I even start? Well, Deb, you've been a nurse for many, many years, and you had to do a lot of charting. Mm-hmm. So I really did know, in a sense, I knew how to write a blog for my business, for me to be found, because charting, I had to write so like the doctor or whomever needed to read those notes knew what I was talking about and whom I was talking about. So I already had that, if you want to call it a blueprint, already. I just didn't realize it. So I did, and I had my website before I started to blog. So I had a home for my blog, but and I was also learning now how to actually do the SEO, the search engine
Yes, search engine
optimization,
optimization.
how somebody can find me.
Mhm.
And so I kind of sort of had a step ahead of Hillary, even though she started years before I did. So it's kind of ironic, our two backgrounds, and here we are, and we're going to
Yes.
share our information with you.
Yes. So blogging is just another form of that digital marketing. Well, I should say it's an
Mm-hmm.
activity inside digital marketing. So a lot of people are like, why blog, right? And the essential thing is that in a very crowded, noisy world, your website needs to be found. Your website needs to have followers, and it's your place. It's kind of like your hub. So Facebook's come and go, and I know Facebook has been around for so long that we can't fathom it disappearing. But MySpace is no longer here. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. I'm not on it anymore. Um,
I never was on it.
for those viewers who remember the words ICQ, all right. That was like Messenger back in the day, or you've got mail. All right. So for those of you who know those type of terms, you know that, well, digital moves. And social media, whether it comes and goes like TikTok or, well, Instagram seems to be here forever, Pinterest, right? They're gonna come and go. But your website is gonna stay so long as you maintain your annual hosting, right? Good.
Mm-hmm.
There's some things you got to do, but your website's going to stay, and your content, most of all, is going to stay in the World Wide Web. The only thing that could take it down is the entire World Wide Web crashing, right? And we don't want that to happen, especially
No,
during these times. All right.
no,
But
no, no, no.
so blogging is an integral part of your marketing effort. It is. But then you ask the question, okay, so I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a florist, I'm a dentist, I'm a network marketer, I'm a whatever you are. What do I blog about? And we're gonna share, because both Deb and I have been in this challenge before. Deb has been in this challenge before, and it's a free blogging challenge, and it's called the Ultimate Blogging Challenge. And what we want to share with you today are just five, because we're in the blogging challenge for a month, and we're challenged to write daily. Now, I will tell you, the very first time I ever did this challenge, it was the first time that I ever had such traffic to my blog. Okay, I had content on my blog 30 days straight. And what happened then, because I didn't have little people like the one banging on the door right now, I was able, I was actually able to, after the 30-day blogging challenge, I was actually able to blog for another 60 days straight, because a habit had been built. Now you're probably saying, well, that's because you didn't have children then. I'm like, yeah, but I'm still in it today. Different goals, right?
Right, right. And that's encouraging for me because my very first blogging challenge was in February. And I was going along for probably a week and a half. I don't think it was a complete 2 weeks. And then I'm like, okay, I start falling behind. And that's not in my personality. But I just got so far behind, I just stopped. But when this came again, I thought, you know what? I can do this.
Mhm.
And here we are, day 12 in the challenge, and I have written every single day, whether I have had the idea come from me and part of my life, or if Paul, who is so kind to give us a couple ideas, and he said, if you don't like any of these, use your own. And so I have
Exactly.
used a couple of his. So, and I am excited to hear you, Hillary, say that you continue to write for at least 60 days after you first got started.
Mhm.
So that's encouraging to me too. But I can't say unlike the first challenge I was in, which was what, 2, 3 months ago. I did have some comments. But this time, oh my golly, I am getting so many comments. And I'm like, well, this is good. So, yes, we are going to talk a little bit about this.
I love
And
Heidi.
what?
Definitely. No, Heidi's comment. Yay, we're doing it. Yes, I know. Sometimes blogging could be, a little, but it's actually kind of relaxing. So we have been in this challenge now. I think this is day 12, right? Yes, the comments have been cool, and that's what drives the traffic too. I love it, Heidi. Yes, the comments are
Mhm.
always cool. When you get comments on your blog, it boosts the blog. That's hashtag boost blog or blog boost. I think it's blog boost. Is the right hashtag. Can't remember. It's in the description of this video when you're watching it, right? But so we're gonna share just 5 of the topics that have been shared with us to boost our blog. Now you could, as Deb said, you could take it, you could leave it, but what it does is, and what I found, especially in this challenge, is it gave me ideas. So, previous challenges where I probably only wrote like 5 blogs out of 30, I was trying to come up with my own ideas. And I'm like, come on, Hillary, empty your cup. Paul is giving us the topics. He's literally telling us what to write today. So, take it, look at it, and maybe it might give you an idea instead of trying to pull something out of that very hard brain and busy brain, mom brain of yours, right? So, one of the topics that he shared and which is very common, it's common because if you Google what to blog about, this is probably on the number one list. Now, just the mere fact of Googling what to blog about is an example of this blog post. Okay. It's called a list post. All right. So the list post, top 10 books, um, top 10 places to go shopping for your clothes, top 10 games to play with your kids during COVID. It's a list post. All right.
Yes.
So anything that you could think of, 5 things to do with your kids, 5 ways to keep your kids in bed until 7 o'clock so you could get work done. I know I'm on the kids today. Sorry. All
Well, I
right.
have to tell you, when he talked about the 10 things or the 5 things,
Mhm.
I immediately thought of my power list because I normally 5 things on there that I have to get accomplished for my business a day.
Mhm.
And I had written, actually, the last blog challenge, I had written about my power list. But this time, I'm like, okay, go a little deeper with it. So I actually listed 5 things and explained each of them. And I got so many comments about that, like,
Yeah.
wow, I think I need to do this.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Definitely.
the
Yeah.
list that was in a sense Paul's idea. List 10 things, list 5 things, and he say a couple of things, but it
Yeah.
gave me an idea of what to use.
What to use exactly. So the next idea that you could write about is exactly explaining to people what you do. So why do you do what you do? That was an idea that he gave us, and the actual idea was, why do you work on weekends, right? Now, the blog post that I wrote was, why does a work from home mom work on weekends? The answer is obvious. Okay. um because weekends are like downtimes, right? But anyway, not to dive into my post, but the why you do what you do. So if you are an artist, why are you an artist? If you are a photographer, why are you a photographer? Why do you do what you do? If you are a school teacher, why are you a school teacher? All right. And a lot of these things, it's not so specific that anybody could write about a topic of why do you do what you do. All right.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's just and that's what I love about these ideas, that it's not very industry specific, or like a jeweler, like somebody who wants to sell their jewelry. Why do you do that? Is it in your heritage? Is it something that passed down to your parents? And without selling your jewelry, or without selling photography, or without selling whatever it is that you sell, you're selling because you're telling people why you do what you do. People connect with people.
Yep.
We buy
Yep.
from people. We don't buy from objects. We buy from people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And the other thing about being having a home business is The way I look at it, my computer's sitting here. Yeah, I get up and I do things, but the computer says, come back to me, and it's like, yeah, I could sit and do a few more things. And so I try to have specifically Sundays
Mhm.
that I really don't even come to the computer.
Right.
But because my business is growing and people are reaching out to me, I do spend a little time, even on a Sunday,
Yeah.
to
Yes.
get it done. And if my husband and I have plans or our family has plans, then I just do it early before we get going and it's all done and taken care of.
Yes.
But it is wonderful having a home business. But at the same time, the computer says, come back to me.
So definitely a post of writing why you do what you do and why you work when you work, or why, different things, because like it was interesting that only as I got older, I realized that hairdressers aren't open on a Monday. And that's a great post to write about. Why am I closed on a Monday as a hairdresser? And it never dawned on me because they do work on Saturdays. Their weekend is literally Sunday and Monday. But
Right.
it's only as I got older I realized that. Now, the funny thing is, if you're looking for a younger market and hairdressers are out there, that may be a wonderful post for you to write about why I don't work on Mondays. You know? So, moving on to the next topic.
Mm-hmm.
Next topic would be a review. And specifically, we got the challenge to write a book review.
Right.
But you didn't have to write a book review because we don't only read books. We follow recipes, we watch TV shows, we watch movies, we watch what else do we do? We visit websites, we try out products. So
Mm-hmm.
I've already given, like, I don't know, five. I was counting on my fingers, but five already ideas of reviews of different things. So inside the Ultimate Blog Challenge, we were talking about a book review. But you could do a review on anything. All right.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And I found that one to be quite fun. Well, all of
Yeah.
them have been fun, actually. And that, I think, is the difference between me doing blogs this challenge as opposed to last time, because my mind frame is different. It's
Different. Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, I can do this.
Yeah.
And
And it's fun.
yeah. So, and when he said book reviews, I have read so many awesome books. I'm like, okay, what book shall I choose? I had a difficult time choosing one. I did. But like Hillary said, a review, we can review anything that comes to our mind, but
Mhm.
we're just giving you some suggestions.
Exactly. Definitely. So, number four that we had was a spotlight. And why I like the spotlight is because this gives you the opportunity, especially if you're in like the home based network marketing niche, you could spotlight a team member or spotlight a leader. And it's basically spotlighting somebody other than yourself. And
Yeah.
this kind of throws me back to it was I can't remember what class it was during my MBA, but they were talking about wikis and the emergence of wikis and how a lot of people at that time were afraid to share information on wikis because it was literally sharing information with their competitors. And what's interesting is that now we do that so like easily. All right.
Yeah.
Like I would put on my blog a spotlight of my competitor because you want people to honestly review and choose. And 9 out of 10 times when you're sharing information about your competitor, the customer is actually more willing to hear your voice. All right. Your
Yeah.
voice. Yes.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
busy reading
Heidi's.
comments. Excuse me.
Yes. Heidi. Heidi saying yes. By far this month it was the who you admire in the book review. Yeah. And the thing is the who you admire spotlight post very, very well tied in. And you can do that about anybody. It could be your mom, it could be the person that you bought your business from, it could be a family member, it could be anything. And that's what I love about these challenges and these ideas that it could go anywhere. Spotlight,
Yeah.
You could
Oh,
spotlight anybody.
and that's the thing. Paul puts out there ideas, but they're
Mhm.
ideas that we can carry any way we want
Exactly.
within boundaries and things like that. But
Mhm.
yeah, he's really good at what he does.
Definitely. And so the last thing, and it kind of ties back to maybe the top 10 list, but this one was particularly for the business people. All right. And if you're thinking business, this idea was a resource list. All right. Now, like the blog, right? So one of the things that I think both Deb and I realized it after I started blogging. Deb realized it before she started blogging, right? Was that you needed things to get a
Yeah,
blog going. All right. And that resource, and that could be a resource list, right? So somebody who wants to either sell hosting services or anything like that, they would put together a resource list of what you're going to need. You're going to need hosting. You're going to need a domain name. You're going to need a domain name. You're going to need, a few other things. You're going to need some graphic design work or whatever the case may be. But you're still going to need things. And any business that you're in, you could share what they're going to need. That's called the
right.
resource list, right?
Yeah. And that's actually, I wrote an ebook, and it is about what you need. You don't have to be a technology genius to write a blog, but you do need some resources and what you need to get your blog a home and decorated and all kinds of things. And I knew that, and I struggled as I'm learning the technology, and I don't want people to struggle like I did. So that's why I wrote the ebook, which is a resource list,
A
basically.
resource list, yeah.
Yeah,
And many people who, when they get started, and they actually write many blog posts that are like resource lists, and what they find out is that they create it as an ebook eventually. Because I mean, if you're writing 60 blogs in a year, which is a lot, like let's think about it. We got 52 weeks in a year. And if you said, I'm going to blog once a week, even not once a day, we're talking once a week, all right? And you blogged once a week, 52 blog posts. That's a lot of blog posts people have to dig through. But the internet does something really nice with all of those blog posts for you. But then if you wrote a resource post, say January 1, the chances of somebody digging through your blog post to get that resource list are slim to none, which is why now you could turn it into an ebook like Deb did and share it again. All right. So sometimes blog posts actually turn into marketing material assets. I like to call that.
yeah, yeah. And it actually, last year at this time, thinking about writing an ebook. Are you kidding? I don't know enough. Yeah, a lot of people have said, yeah, Deb, you do know enough. And so here it is. It came to fruition. So don't ever count yourself out on anything.
Exactly. Yeah. So those were five of the 30 ideas. Well, so far we've had 11, 12 ideas because today is day 12. I don't know if you read his email already for the morning.
Yeah, I have.
Anyway, right. So those are just five out of the 12 ideas in this blogging challenge. And in the description of this video somewhere, we put the link for you to join. I don't know if it's too late for you to join. You probably could still join. But this challenge happens 4 times a year. All right. Only 4 times a year. And it's completely free. All right. Completely free. So there is no affiliation here, none whatsoever. We are just here sharing some
Right.
valuable content on what to blog about and where you could get more ideas. All right. So I hope you've enjoyed today's session. We will be back next week. Same time, same channel. All right. 11 Eastern. So thank you all for joining. Heidi, thanks for all your comments.
Yes.
And
Thank you. Thank
do
you.
share this out because we know that entrepreneurs out there probably sitting down at their computer, what to write about, what to write about. We just gave you 5 ideas, and if you join the challenge, you'll get 25 more. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Have a good week.
Bye bye.